the roundtable format. It helps me pay attention, it helps me learn, and I really like speaking with, my peers across the industry and getting to know them and learning the challenges that they have. It keeps me awake and energized as compared to just sitting there listening to somebody go blah, blah, blah. So I like it. It works for me, and I have a short attention span, so it works really well for me.
I think the roundtables are very constructive. In my experience going to a variety of conferences and events, that I've always gotten the most use out of interacting with peers and being able to challenge one another. Sometimes when you go to a presentation, the presentation is relevant or the presentation may not be relevant, and you don't necessarily have enough time for that quality interaction later, or you're chasing someone at one of the coffee breaks, if you will. So to have a limited number of people that are all seasoned and experienced that you can interact with and have a good amount of time with an open format, the conversation leads where the conversation leads, and it's not limited or restricted.
I think the roundtable format for this strategy meeting is a really good one. It gives everyone the opportunity to go ahead and actually share what they know, ask key questions so that they can actually walk away from this meeting with a great deal of knowledge that will help them when they actually get back to work.
I actually like the interactive process between everyone around the table versus someone presenting where you don't really get a chance to talk about different things.
Create the environment, a lot more engagement. You actually allowed to ask questions whether you're really interested about it.
I equate this to like going to a party. I think going to a more intimate party where there's 4 or 5 couples is much more learning, much more engaged, and you're really getting to know the person. You're really getting to know, what is this issue? What is this problem? How are you solving it? Versus being in a setting where there's 100 or 200 people. People are not going to open up as much, and that's what's attracted me to this session.
Yeah, absolutely. There were a range of, executive VPs to director level. You have the operation people that are really involved with all the details of it, and you also have people that are more involved with the policies. So it was very good.
That I would say, which is interesting, is that one thing that was clear with all the really intelligent people that were here today and the folks that are willing to share their knowledge and their information always brings me back to this great quote that I've heard, and I can't remember who actually said it, but it goes to a great concept, which is people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And based on that, this was a group of people that really cared about furthering the clinical supplies industry and sharing what they knew and asking good key questions that got good discussion started.
There are senior executives, and then there's some more junior, and it's a very nice mix of getting different perspectives into it. People who have spent 30 some odd years like me, but others who have been 5 years or so. It was a very good counter to those who have been in the business for so many years and might not see the changes that truly can happen.
This conference has selected a very good moderator for the roundtable. And the moderator had come with experience, able to react to the situations, to bring out the questions and the conversations.
The one-to-one's been great. The funny thing about the one-to-one is you matched me with people I did already know. So I think the people who picked me already knew me.
I think the one-to-one meeting format is good. I was especially appreciative that when I signed up, I was able to sort of prioritize and select who I wanted to meet with, who I didn't want to meet with, and sort of provide some justification. So, for instance, vendors that are not relevant to my business, I'm not being forced into meeting with those vendors. Vendors that are relevant to my business, I can meet with them. In each of the roundtables I've been in so far today, some of the vendors were actively present, and it was a good way for them to showcase their expertise. So if I wasn't working with them, but I was working with somebody similar, it gives me some insight into what they have to provide, and so I can consider them for future projects.
The impact that I think it's going to have on my daily work is that I think we need to do more of them even in our work setting. And keeping these smaller round tables, very succinct questions, I think is going to make us more effective.
I got a stack of business cards, I will be contacting them, and as I said, especially for the one subject that was very important to me for the API importation, I will be getting in touch with everyone and trying to, join force and hopefully get the FDA's attention.
Some of them are great because we are dealing with things that are challenges, and so you have some new tips or some new thought processes that you might be able to implement either in things you're actively working on or things that you may be working on in the future. Some of them, even though they're not impacting my personal day-to-day interactions in my workplace, it's good for me to see and keep my finger on the pulse of what's going on in the industry.
I already have a number of things that I can actually take back with me in terms of some opportunities I can change, some things that I can share with people that will actually help them, especially with regards to import-export, with regards to actually shippers and temperature control, distribution. Those are all key things that I learned just today and from some people that actually have been experiencing those issues.
I think these roundtable discussions will impact my daily work, and in that it gives me ideas on what my peers are doing within the industry. It also helps me set goals for the future when I find out kind of what technology other people are using and what ideas and strategies other people have. So I'll absorb that and include that in in my strategic thinking and maybe in my goals for next year.
Yes, I would be more than happy to participate again in the future.
Yes, I would definitely come to another one of these because it was not only a great format and a great forum for me to meet new people and to expand my network, but also to learn.
I would love to participate next year. I think this was a good use of my time, and I'll be back if I can be.
Yes, I would be honored to participate again because it is these types of meetings where you can have these open and frank discussions in an intimate discussion where you're working with your peers who are dealing with the same challenges and understand what you're going through. You walk away feeling like you are doing a good job.
I would be very happy to participate and I would recommend it to others as well.